All right, let's shift our focus to big news. In fact, great news coming in. This is first on Times Network. Khel Ratna for Manu Bhaker and Gukesh is what we're picking up. It's a big honor for Manu Bhaker as well as Gukesh. So that's the big development. It's an exclusive by Times Network. You're looking, of course, at the pictures of Manu Bhaker with her coach Jaspal. But as far as this is concerned, this is big news concerning the fact that both the sports persons, whether we're talking about Manu or Gukesh, who have not just represented the country, but they've brought so many laurels, in fact, going on to become the first in their particular categories to do what they did on a global stage. And now we're looking at how it has come in with that exclusive, that Khel Ratna for Manu and Gukesh. In terms of Manu, of course, we know how that played out in terms of a controversy just a week ago with all of that came through, including reactions when Jaspal, her coach, was also, talking about the aspect of how that nomination didn't come through, how he did get emotional, and even her father as well. But having said that, looks like this has ended on a good note. We're also looking at images of what the young Gukesh, the sensational Gukesh, best known as that, managed to do so with his skills at the global event, becoming the youngest ever to do so. And both of them, rightly so, in their particular arenas, bringing laurel not just to the nation, but having managed to do that on big platforms, whether we're talking about for Gukesh at the World Chess Championship final, or whether we're talking about Manu, what she managed to do at the Olympics. And now with that, the honor coming through for them. Young faces, a lot of talent, but more importantly, that being recognized in that sense of what has come through in terms of the announcement. But this is huge because this is also, in a sense, talking about their achievements being rewarded the right way for the chess player, that is D. Gukesh, or for that matter, we're talking about shooter Manu Bhaker. This is first on Times Network while we continue to report how this is a big honor for them. But in terms of Manu, we do know the kind of controversy that did ensue after her name was missing from the shortlisted candidates for the prestigious Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. More importantly, she did break her silence in that social media post earlier on X by going on to state no matter what that she will continue to do her particular part. And she did state that she believes there was a lapse on that particular end. What had come through in terms of the reaction as far as that particular matter was that list was not finalized yet. But that is, of course, the background of what really transpired. But the big news on that front, that Khel Ratna, after all, for both of them, whether we're talking about D. Gukesh or Manu Bhaker, in fact, the image that you see on your screens is of that particular win. Remember, when he did win, it took him a couple of even seconds or rather minutes to process that big dream of his. For a young champion like D. Gukesh, what he's managed to do was absolutely incredible, because remember, there was this old video of him that had gone viral back in the day. A very young Gukesh, although he's still young, the younger version of him did state that if there was one dream that he had, was to become the world champion, and he managed to do so. And it brings a lot more than just a conversation as to how both of them are being recognized today, because these are sports that we're looking at in the country, which is being talked about because we have athletes like Manu Bhaker, for matter, or D. Gukesh, who have opened more corridors. What this does, of course, is when they win at global events is one aspect, because all of us are rooting for them, and rightly so, but it also opens a lot more opportunity for the younger generation, who of course want to get into the avenue of both the sports, whether we're talking about shooting or whether we're talking about chess for that matter. And in fact, even before all right, I'm given to understand Karishma is joining me for more. Karishma, very good afternoon. Great news after all that has come through. Tell us a lot more.
Well, yes, absolutely. Now we have the list of players who are being awarded the Khel Ratna Award. There are 4 names that are there. One from para-athletics, which is Praveen Kumar, who won the gold medal. Then, of course, Harmanpreet Singh, who's the captain of the hockey team. Then there is Manu Bhaker. A lot of controversy surrounding her name, but now everything seems to be back on track with her being given the award as well. And D. Gukesh, who created history and made sure that India, his efforts do not go unnoticed, and that is why Manu and D. Gukesh also now being included in the list for the prestigious Khel Ratna Award.
Right, Karishma, and quickly, if I could ask you a follow-up question with the fact that, this is a lot more than just getting that reward for the performances. Of course, opens a lot more avenue for how youngsters would essentially look at both these sports as well.
Well, yes, absolutely. This is a huge, huge motivation, and that is exactly what the athletes also say. That it's not about, the money or the fame, but it is actually about the motivation, because playing for India in itself is a huge, huge motivation to all these athletes who represent India at the global level. But to be recognized by your own country and be told that you are the best in what you're doing and you deserve to be recognized is something that they work towards. And when they get the highest honor that can be given to a sports person, it is, of course, going to be a very, very special feeling for all the athletes.
Right, Karishma. Thank you very much for joining us with more as far as that is concerned. So clearly, first on Times Network, and like Karishma just pointed out, it's a lot more than just them being rewarded with this. But that's big news that's coming through, especially after, like I was putting into context, saying that, what really happened with Manu Bhaker and that particular list, that she had admitted the lapse on her part while filing the Khel Ratna nominations, after which there was a furor over the same. And awards are not my goal, is what she did state. But this is the double Olympic bronze medalist after all, Manu Bhaker, who we're talking about. And the fact that, she's gone on to do what she did at that global stage. And more importantly, for just speaking about Manu first, and of course, then we'll get talking about Gukesh as well. Manu has had such an incredible journey in the whether we're talking about what really happened previously in that particular miss, and then there was this comeback, like the form that she did have at the Olympics this year, and she went on not to get one. But of course, she was a double Olympic bronze medalist, which has been rightly acknowledged with this particular nomination that's come through. More importantly for her, in terms of the aspect of the controversy that ensued just a few days ago, when her coach as well as her family did get a little emotional about it. But having said that, remember, the Sports Ministry also intervened for damage control after the selection committee's surprising decision to exclude her nomination. This is all that transpired initially. But now, of course, after she also took to social media to explain her stance, very short in that particular post, where she said that with regards to that previous list of her not making to it, that as an athlete, her role is to play for and perform for the country, and awards and recognition keeps her motivated, and they're not her goal. So technically going on to stay, and that there has been a lapse maybe on the part. Taking that back to Karishma, who continue to stay with us. Karishma, this aspect of the timing as well, which has come into question, of course, with Manu, and what we really saw that pan out, because you also had the opportunity to interact with, whether it's her family or her coach, and Jaspal had got quite, emotional on that front. And now, of course, this has come through, but the manner in which perhaps it did happen, can be kind of a little bit of a different reaction that has come through.
Well, yes, absolutely. It can be a different reaction. In fact, when we had spoken to Jaspal Rana at that point in time, he had said that, now there is no point in getting this award the way we have gotten this award. He, in fact, said that, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the sports ministry reacts now, because he felt that this was something that Manu Bhaker deserved. She shouldn't have to apply for it. She shouldn't have to go through.
She shouldn't have to apply for it. She shouldn't have to go through what she actually went through, where the parents had to come out, the parents had to speak for her. So obviously it is very, very, disappointing at that point in time. But now things seem to be back on track.
All right, Karishma, as you get us those details, if you could also quickly talk about D. Gukesh and the fact that he's also been rewarded in the form of this nomination. I mean, for an 18-year-old, first of all, to be achieving what he has, and now for this big honor.
Absolutely, it is going to be a huge moment for Gukesh and his family as well, because he created history for India, the youngest world champion and the second only after Vishwanathan Anand, and he is also being recognized, and rightly so, because what he's done has never happened in India before as far as chess is concerned. So obviously, rightfully, the award being given to Manu Bhaker and Gukesh.
Right, Karishma, as you get us those details, I'm given to understand even Ashish, my colleague, is joining us from the newsrooms. Let me cut across to him. Ashish, we heard what Karishma had to say. And more importantly, you know, this is the honor that rightly has to be done for the youngsters, because for a nation like India, we're always speaking about one particular sport. And then we have both these athletes, like, of course, you know, sports people like Manu coming into context of things, and Gukesh, and really changing the way that you're only looking at this, because it takes a lot more of sacrifices. We're always looking at the final moment, but that journey to getting this is a lot more than what it seems to the eye.
Absolutely. In fact, Nivedna, this is not just the two names that have been announced. This is a long and extensive list that has been put out by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. These are the National Sports Awards 2024. This also includes the Khel Ratna Award that we're talking about. It also includes the Arjuna Award, the Dronacharya Award. So multiple names that are out there right now. Let's start with the Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. The winners right now: Gukesh D, chess, of course, the youngest ever world champion, the second from India to get this honor. Harmanpreet Singh from hockey, the hockey captain as well, who's made the nation proud, won a bronze medal at the Olympics as well. And then third name is of Praveen Kumar from para-athletics. He had won a gold medal. It was the 6th gold medal for India at para games as well. He had won, in fact, in men's high jump T64 final. And the last name is Manu Bhaker, shooting. Of course, Karishma also, our colleague who joined a while back, spoke about how there was a massive controversy around her name. She was excluded. The list did not have her name, so there was a massive controversy as well. But these are the 4 winners this year around of the Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. Besides them, there are also 32 other athletes that have got the Arjuna Award as well. And besides them, there has also been an announcement as far as the Dronacharya Award is concerned. And these, of course, have been given to Sucha Singh, Sri Subhash Rana, Deepali Deshpande, Sandeep Sangwan from hockey. So multiple announcements being made here. Be it the coaches or the players, or of course the elite athletes who have now won the Arjuna Award as well as the Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. So a lot has been spoken about these awards, a lot of controversy as well about the names included, excluded. But finally, the list is out, and I think it also puts all the controversies to rest as well. The Ministry of Sports had particularly said that any athlete that deserves any recognition will be given so, and no athlete will be denied any due recognition, and that exactly is what has happened. Gukesh, Harmanpreet Singh, and also Manu Bhaker now winning the Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award.
You know, in fact, as you put that into context for us, Ashish, what brilliant names have made it to the list. Of course, we have so much more talent as well. But a quick question to you, given the fact that, you are one of our anchors and reporters who cover sports as well, and you've done special shows, and throughout the tournament on various aspects, you've had the opportunity to talk to their family perhaps, or to the fraternity, and really talk about how these names have changed the way these games are also looked at, because it's not just about winning for the country. They represent the way that they do on a global stage, and thereafter it opens really many doors and opportunities for younger ones who would want to pursue any of these mediums for that matter. Of course, the focus is on Manu and Gukesh for what they've managed to do in those international events as well. But all the sports people, the names that you just took, it really opens a lot many more conversations and opportunities.
Absolutely, Nivedna, rightly put. Of course, you're talking about how these are not the sort of titles and awards that these athletes work for. It's a completely different motivation for them. But what these sort of awards do is that this, in fact, does give them that recognition across the nation, and also puts the entire picture and all the struggle into perspective. The fact that the entire nation stands with them, recognizes their efforts, all the effort that they put day in and day out without any recognition. We only talk about people who win medals, but there are a number of athletes who do not even win medals at multiple games, and yet they put in the same sort of a hard work as other athletes as well. And these sort of awards, the recognition, in fact, is not just for the athletes. It's also for their coaches who are unsung heroes. These are people who don't make it to the headlines, but these are people who actually contribute to the multiple medals that the nation wins. And these sort of awards, the Dronacharya Award, it in fact goes a long way in honoring, and it's not something that these coaches or athletes work for, but at the end of the day, these sort of honors and these sort of recognitions in fact do motivate them, and also motivate a new generation of players. They want to go out there, not just win medals for themselves,
Absolutely.
but also make the nation proud. And when the nation recognizes their efforts, well, it just goes a long way as well in pushing them to put an extra effort the next time around.
Absolutely, Ashish. Thank you very much for joining us with all those details that were given to understand. Many reasons to be smiling this afternoon, to be looking at them getting that particular honor as well, and rightly so. But for the moment, we'll have to leave the conversation at that. But we continue to track a little more about sports in another context. What is that? Well, let me break that down for you. Glenn McGrath